everyone, my name is Nicola. I am Simply a Stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, it's great to have you, and if you are returning, thank you for coming and spending some more time with me today. If you haven't already got one, go and get a cup of tea or whatever, because this is going to be a long video. There's a lot to share with you guys today. I've had quite the week. So this is my weekly Flosstube update, where I share with you the projects that I've been working on over the last 7 days. And today I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 projects that I've worked on, 8 that I can show. One of those is a finish. So I also have some news about the Ros Show and She Sleeps. So yeah, it's been quite the week. It really has. I've never done some of the stuff that I've done this week ever before in my life, and I should be doing it again. But anyway, so on the projects that I've worked on this week, I have got in 9,959 stitches over the last 7 days. So as I said, I did have 9 projects I've worked on, but I'm only able to show you 8. 160 of those stitches were model stitching, so unfortunately I'm not able to show that. But I do have 8 projects that I've worked on, one of which is a finish, and I think what we'll do is we will go for that straight away. So okay, so the first piece that I have finished is this one. If you join me on my live stream on Wednesday, you will have seen the finale of this piece. This is a Geckorouge, a Christmas cat. It was at 98.84%, and I worked in the final 399 stitches on the stream to take it to 100% complete. It's stitched 1/1 full cross on some 25 count fabric, and there we go. One Christmas cat, fully oval, completed. So all finished. Let me just go in a bit closer because of those pale blue snowflakes. And there she is. Isn't she a cutie? So yeah, we're definitely going to be looking at washing and framing and, excuse me, all of that good stuff. So that is Christmas cat done. So as Christmas cat has now finished, I have moved on to my next closest to a finished piece, and that is getting additional stitches where possible. And it just so happened to be the other cat, the witchy cat, so also a Geckorouge piece. This was a full kit. It was a Gecko Halloween special, I think, or a bow, one or the other. I can't remember. A couple of years ago, the same time that Christmas cat was put out. So I just nabbed that as well. So the witchy cat, I have worked on in, you know, whenever I've had some spare stitchy time this week. This is also stitched 1/1 full cross on some 25 count, 13.51 to 22.01%, and it's had 3,400 stitches. So I've put in a little bit on the bottom here, but not a lot, because I have been working on the moon. I have a feeling that this moon is going to be the bane of my life, because although it looks sort of yellow and orange, there's a lot of colours in this. There's browns, there's fawns, there's black, there's, you know, all sorts, there's even some sort of red shades in there. So I'm working on, when I'm not doing a live stream, because this will be now be featured on my Wednesday live stream, when I'm not working on live stream, I will be working on getting this moon done, a bit like when I did the Christmas cat, when I was working on the snowflakes. Because yeah, I think that the cat's body and head are going to be much simpler. So yeah, I'm working up and around to do the moon, and yeah, I'll work this one in the same way as the Christmas cat, in the respect that I will complete the head and face last. So we might have a few stitches in the head and face, but the completion won't be until it's finished. So that's the Witchy Cat. Have I missed a project? No, I haven't. Right, so let's start again at the beginning of the week. So I worked on the first piece that I had out, which was on a stitch with me. Is this one, and this is Rivendell Castle, and it's by Olesia at Stitching Masterpieces. It was an RAK for my birthday. So Rivendell, it's stitched on some 20 count fabric, and it's 2/1 full cross because it's got a lot of blends in it. It's moved from 0.64 to 0.92%, and we've added 1,000 stitches. So as this one goes, I don't think until it gets bumped up to having more stitches per session, don't think you're going to see much in terms of progress. But second line is complete and we're into the third line across. So I've got 100 stitches across here, and I'm just working them line by line, typewriter method. But 1,000 stitches is 1,000 stitches, and 1,000 stitches is progress. What did I work on next? So next piece that I worked on, which was also out on a stitch with me, and it was out on my Chatty stitch with me that I released on Saturday, and it was this one. So this is Envy. The artwork is by Master Darlig, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is a channel favourite, this one. It is one that's much beloved. So Envy has had 1,000 stitches, 43.46 to 43.88%. I'll show you where I've stitched and then hopefully the whole thing. This is stitched 1/1 full cross on some 25 count Lugana, and guess what? 1,000 stitches of skirt. So you'll have seen on the stitch with me, sort of from my finger below, I've kind of worked down and mapped out some areas and filled them in. But yeah, 1,000 stitches of progress. Let's just try and get her all in. There we go. And there is Envy. As I said, 1/1 full cross, 25 count Lugana. Okay, I'm going to pop this in its bag. It's not that one. It's not that one. Did I bring its bag over? No, I didn't. It's weird of me. Okay, I'll put that on one side. Okay, so the next piece that came out for some rotation stitches was one of my Unconventional X Stitch pieces, and it's this one. This is Gogh Never Met. And obviously it's Starry Night, but Lord of the Rings version. Okay, so this one has also had 1,000 stitches, and it's gone from 2.52 to 2.92%. And again, we've filled in, we're doing this typewriter method the same, and it's 1/1 full cross on some 25 count. But fair dues, 1,000 stitches of progress. And as you can see there, we've got some really, really bright blues, but also some pinks and yellows and some greens in there as well. So even though it looks very blue and black, there's quite a lot of beautiful colours in this piece. Let's just take it out. So yeah, Unconventional X Stitch. I've got 2 of their pieces now. Well, this one and the other Lord of the Rings one I'm doing. Okay. Frees up an urge for this week. Okay. I like to pop these into their bags as soon as possible, and then I don't get confused. And the way I put them in, because there's no labels on the bags, I put it so I can see the piece through the front. So that's that. Okay, Sunday stitch this week. So, where is it? There. Sunday stitch this week was another Geckorouge piece, and it was this one. This is Magpie, and again it's a Lorna Laine piece. I do really enjoy Lorna's pieces. I've just seen at Gecko, I've just released a 3 gecko boobs. Unfortunately, I can't do that this year. It's a bit much. I've got a lot going on financially, but anybody who gets those gecko boobs, they're all going to be Lorna Laine, so you're going to love them. So the Magpie. I don't know if I said 2.52 to 2.92 on Van Gogh Never Met. So Magpie was my Sunday stitch, and it's had 1,300 stitches. So it's gone from 6.06 to 7.9%. And I worked on this end feather and wing tips here. 1,300 stitches, and it's stitched 1/1 full cross on 25 count. But yeah, that wing tip is coming in beautifully. So there's a big patch of white here. I think it's 3865, and it'll be the same here. But yeah, it's looking good. And again, it's a colour that's got greens, blues, black, well, dark greys and purples in it as well. But yeah, again, we've got some browns and some pinks that you kind of wouldn't expect, but it all pulls together in the end and it makes the piece absolutely beautiful. So let me just deframe this one as well and pop it away. So I have 2 more pieces to show, one of which is my Spare Stitches Saturday piece. So on a Saturday, if I have extra stitchy time, which I was very surprised I got this week, that story's incoming. If I get extra stitchy time, I will put some extra work in on my Night Cafe, my Leonid Afremov piece. The reason being is that that piece is actually about 1,000,000 stitches, 991,008 stitches to be precise. So, sorry zips. So it is a long-term project. So I would like to get to 12% by the end of the year. I'm not quite there yet, but I am trying to work on this every weekend. So there's the mock-up. So that's Night Cafe, Leonid Afremov Heaven and Earth design. So yeah, I have put in this week, I have put in 1,000 stitches. It's gone from 10.65 to 10.75%, and we've had another line down here. 1,000 stitches added on. It's stitched 2/1, 10th stitch on some 25 count, and as you can see from the thickness of the fabric, it's quite a hefty piece. So yeah, but 1,000 stitches is 1,000 stitches more. It's 0.1%, and you know, if I think we've got like 15 or 16 weeks left of the year, maybe 17 weeks of the year, so hopefully I can get to that 12%, plus I'll have at least a couple of rotations where this one's out as well. So that is that. And then next year again, as I said, I'm going to have 3 scales: small pieces, medium pieces, large pieces, and each time in rotation they'll have a different amount of stitches. So the last piece that I worked on is my sunflower September piece, should I say. So if you're remembering my Simply Stitcher and Friends Facebook group, you'll know I'm having a monthly sale. I put in 100 stitches per day on my chosen piece, but you do you. If that works for you, fabulous. If not, do whatever, you know, is good for you, whether it's a strand a day, 50 stitches, 200 stitches, whatever. So the theme was Sunflower September, so anything to do with the sunflower, however tenuous your link, I don't mind. So I nominated this piece, which is Summer Sun, and it's Chart and Kit by Geckorouge. The artwork is by Leslie D. Mackenzie. And I chose it for obvious reasons. It's very summery, very sunflower, very the right colours. So this week it's had 700 stitches added, and we have gone from 6.27 to 6.9%. So these, what are they called? Conifer trees are starting to come in a little bit. Got a little bit to finish on this row, and then I'll start on this row. But yeah, I'm doing 100 stitches a day. I haven't done today's. This is on 25 count, 1/1 full cross. I don't know if I said about Night Cafe being 2/1 10th stitch on 25 count, but if I didn't, it's all in the thing below. So yeah, I'm doing 100 stitches a day, and it's nice to do that 100 a day. But I shall do today's later on. And that's that. So it's had it's had 700 stitches this week, 6.27 to 6.9%. So yeah, very happy with that. And that is my total number of stitches this week, 9,959. So that is my stitchiness. Let's just share what we're going to have coming up, and then we'll sort out the other stuff. So coming up on the channel this week, I'll have a stitch with me with a stitching shelf, which I've already filmed. It is an ASMR style one. Cosmic Marbles will be the subject of my chatty stitch with me, which will be out on Saturday. Lord of the Rings stained glass will get some rotation stitches. And my Sunday stitch this week will be Tower Bridge, my Sophie Kilpatrick Geckorouge kit. Of course, because I am working on Witchy Cat will get extra stitches where possible. I don't have a model stitching at the moment. And on Saturday, Spare Stitch Saturday, if I get an opportunity, I'll be putting some more stitches in on Night Cafe. So that's the shape of my week. Okay, so this is the bit that you guys have been waiting for. I know that lots of you have seen it on Facebook already and in the group, if you are in the group. And I had a very, very exciting weekend. So in Rotherham, the town which I live, we have an annual agricultural show. And it's a show where lots of people get to exhibit things that they've grown, things that they've made, whether that be something edible or something like knitting or cross stitch or whatever. Also they have like lots of stalls, and they have tombolas, and they have kids activities, and there was a circus this year, there was a fun fair, there was things like there was games that you could play and all kinds of stuff, and it really is a lovely sort of a day out. It runs the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, in our main park in Rotherham. And I don't know if you guys remember, when I got She Sleeps framed, I was debating about putting it into the Rotherham show this year. And I was debating for a couple of reasons. So the first reason is that people might see it as professional. Of course, it's not professional. Although I do get paid for my stitching, that was a piece I purely did for my own enjoyment. And how would you designate somebody who's a cross-stitch professional anyway? You know, it's not like you could go out there and get a full-time job doing it. It's not. Trust me, I've looked. It's not possible. Also, the size of it was a little bit of a concern, because framed She Sleeps is 2 by 2 feet square. It's quite a chunk, very sizable. And the risk, the time I'd taken to stitch it, the value that holds for me in my heart. If I took that piece there, could I be assured of its safety? And I was thinking about this, and Andy kept saying to me, you must put it in, you must put it in. So on last, on the, well, that was, so today's Tuesday, not last Friday, but the Friday before, entries closed. And on the Sunday, I went on the website and I thought, oh no, I haven't put She Sleeps in. I'm still going to do it and see what happens. So last Sunday of August, I entered She Sleeps in. And I thought, I'll give it a couple of days and see if I get an email. If I don't get an email, I'll give them a ring. Anyway, on the Tuesday, I got an email saying that my entry had been accepted and my exhibitor pass was ready to be collected. I was like, yeah, good, happy about that. So I went down with Lauren, we went to collect the pass, and I said to them, this piece is large, is that a problem? No, it's not a problem. Where's the tent? It's there. Right, tell me about your arrangements about me leaving this. We have security, we have patrolling security that are there, you know, all the time. The safety is assured as far as we can. You know, we do everything we can to protect exhibits. Right, okay. When can I bring it down? Right, you can bring it anytime from Friday in the afternoon. So, right, okay, well, I'm working in the afternoon, so at 5 o'clock on Friday, I'd finished work, booked a taxi, bundled me and the girls in the taxi together with She Sleeps, and took it up on Friday night. I have to say the staff at the park were absolutely phenomenal. A couple of the gardeners helped me to hang it, and one of them said, I think this is lovely. I am not letting you leave here until you are fully happy with how it's been staged, because that will also impact the decision. Right, okay. So we hung it, we twiddled about, we straightened it up, we had the blue tack out, and the girls were like, oh yeah, that's nice. I'm like, no, I'm not happy. And I'm like, left hand down a bit, right hand down a bit, you know, we got it right, and we got it exhibited in the end. So I left it at the park, and honestly, you know, you have this little knot, this little nagging doubt, you've left something that's precious to you. I mean, I know it's not a person, and I could stitch another one, and I get that. It's precious to me, you know, because you guys had so much of an involvement in it. Whenever I look at that, I think about Flosstube, and I think about all of you guys that helped me in one way or another, whether that be being a subscriber, whether it be liking, whether it be contributing towards buy me a coffee or anything like that, because all that buy me a coffee money I ring fence towards framing. So on Saturday morning, we knew that the tent was going to be closed until about, I think it was 11 or midday. I think it was midday for judging, which was absolutely fine. So me and the girls left the house, and we got to the park for about just after 12 o'clock, and the tent was still closed. I was like, oh, it should be open by now. I want to know, because you don't go in these things expecting to get any sort of, you know, prize or anything like that, but you just want to know, you know, what people's thoughts were, and if there's any note or message or anything like that. So we had a little bit of a walk around, and then we went back, and the tent was a very long sort of marquee, and it had two sides. One side was vegetables and baking, and the other side was flowers and handicrafts. And where I went into the tent, I had to walk right down to the very end, and it was on the last bit of wall on the right hand side. And as I'm walking down to it, I said, I can see something on it. I can see some paper on it, you know, stuck in the frame. And I got to it, and honest to God, you could have knocked me down with a feather, because She Sleeps had this. It only went and won first prize in its class. Class 57, an item of needlework or embroidery. It won the first. Oh, my phone's ringing. 1 second. After all that, there was nobody there. So yeah, I got a first. Also, sat on the side of it was this section champion rosette. So I'm like, this is awesome. I was just, you know, thrilled to bits that I got these two things. So I went home, happy dance. You know, I was pretty much in tears when I was stood there, happy dance. Andy was at home by the time I got here because he'd been out filming, and I came in and he said, oh, you've got a face, because the girls had obviously told him in a message. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, see, I told you, it's not just following a pattern, is it? You know, and I'm like, it actually is. But, you know, obviously they could see the beauty in it, which, I mean, to be fair, She Sleeps is a beautiful piece. So I'm sat here and I've had my tea and I'm stitching away and working on that cafe. And my phone rang, my mobile. And this lady says, hello, it's Sally at Rotherham. And I says, hello, Sally. And she says, you've won a prize, you've won a trophy. And I went, oh, I know, I've already been down and I've seen it. She went, no, not that one. I went, what? She says, not that one. She says, you've won the first. She says, but you've also won something else. You've won the Rotherham College of Arts and Technology prize for the best exhibit, you know, in its class kind of thing. And I'm like, what? She says, there's a prize ceremony at 3 o'clock tomorrow in the tent. Can you be there? And I said, yeah, of course I can, because I'm planning to be there anyway. So I kept this sort of a bit quiet. My stepdad came and had his dinner, and I said, I have to go do the thing because apparently I've won this trophy as well. So I get to the tent and there's a note on She Sleeps from the gardener who'd helped me set it up, and it said, see, I told you, you know, it was all worth it, you know, congratulations kind of thing. So a little bit later on, we had this prize event. And there was a chap who I was stood with, and he was lovely. He was one of the gardeners, and he got this little trophy about sort of yay high, you know, yay wide kind of thing. And I thought, oh, isn't that great? It's a lovely trophy. I'm looking forward to finding somewhere to put that. Well, this is my trophy. It is definitely not a teeny tiny thing. It is the Rotherham College of Arts and Technology Perpetual Rose Bowl for Arts and Crafts. And it's full of fingerprints at the minute because I was literally hugging it all day yesterday. And on the bottom, you've got all of the past winners of this trophy. And then there, you can probably just see, it just says my name there. So this is my trophy. It's as big as my head. So I was absolutely astonished to get this, and it's a proper rose bowl as well. So, you know, if I did want, I think this thing comes off. Yeah, if I did want, I could put flowers and things in that. But isn't that just phenomenal? I couldn't believe it. I'm bringing home silverware and I don't even do sport. That's what I said to Andy. So I've won this phenomenal trophy, which I get to babysit for the next 12 months, because obviously it's got to go back next year. So I also got a little bit of prize money, £5, which doesn't sound like a lot, and it won't, you know, pay any big bills, but hey, it's a bit of an award. It's absolutely amazing. So at this point, there is a little video to show you of me actually receiving the award. So Andy's going to put that in for us here.
Don't step back. What? No. Only for you. You'll leave from me next year. Well done. Okay, well, William Tower Children.
And Also, I have a couple of photographs as well of me with the Lady Mayor and her deputy Lady Mayor, who were presenting the awards. They were such lovely ladies, they really, really were. But this also appeared on our local Lord Mayor or Lady Mayor's Facebook page, the Rotherham Mayor, as well. So I then went and obviously collected it and went home, and I had people on the way out saying how nice it was and all the rest of it, and I had an amazing response. There were people on Facebook who'd actually been in, who were friends with me, who'd actually been and seen it and not known, or perhaps not, you know, been aware that it was mine. And people were just blown away, and I'm just like, okay, what am I going to put in next year? So for next year, I've got a couple of ideas in my head, and we'll probably be doing a bit of a vote towards the new year as to what I should potentially put in the show next year. But what a week, you know. I mean, beginning of last week, my stepdad was poorly again. Cutting a long story short, it turns out his ear problems had been misdiagnosed. He'd been on the wrong medication, and he's actually got labyrinthitis. So not labyrinthitis, Meniere's disease. So early part of last week was dedicated to him. Then obviously we had to pick up my pass and things, which was a bit of a squeeze. We had a lot of rain, and I'm like, oh God, it's chucking it down. I really don't want to take it if it's chucking it down. And then, you know, to round off the week like this, it was just phenomenal. I couldn't have been happier. I really couldn't. Andy's super proud. The girls are super proud. And of course, you know, like I said, you'll have seen the video and the pictures now. I apologise for the sound on the video. There was obviously stuff going on with local bits and bobs. You know, there was music and that in the park. And for some reason, it just completely distorted the sound. But there we go. So life, a quick life update. Lauren and I both went to class this week. We both had a gain. We're not unhappy about it. It's about balance. My head's not really been in my diet at the minute, and I do need to sort of revert back. I'm sure I'll be fine. It's just lots going on, and I need to kind of get top side of things. Other stuff, we've already gone through what I'm doing this next week, but I'm just going to give you my reminders. So if you're not subscribed and you found this video, please do hit that subscribe button. If you click on where you said subscribe to the drop down and click on all notifications, YouTube should let you know next time I upload a video. Subscribing is free, so there is no cost, and leaving a like on a video and a comment is much appreciated. I release several videos a week. My Flosstubes come out on a Tuesday. Stitch with me is on Thursdays and Saturdays. Thursdays are usually either an ASMR or one with music, and Saturdays are always a chatty Stitch with me where I answer and talk about your comments. It saves me time. It means I can carry on stitching while answering your comments rather than sitting and typing them out. On Wednesdays and Sundays, I do live stream at 7:30 p.m. UK time. So on live stream Wednesday, it will be my Witchy Cat, it's Focus for a Finish, and on my Sunday stream, it is my Sunday Stitch, which this week is Tower Bridge. If I'd have had a new start, it would have been that, but until Witchy Cat is finished, I don't qualify for another new start just yet. As far as the wedding sampler goes as well, just quickly, I haven't yet seen that she's received it, and I can't confirm that, so that'll be delayed. Hopefully I can show you guys next week. But really, from me this week, that is everything. So thank you all very much indeed for all of the good stuff that you do, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, joining in on live streams, and participating in the Facebook group as well. So when all's said and done, I'm going to go off and have my lunch, because guess what? It's lunchtime. I'm on my work break. So I will see you guys next time. Take care. Happy stitching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.